gonna bring you Cadash, which is my favorite game on the TurboGrafx, I'd say. It's so much fun. It's a port of the arcade, but I think it's done better than the arcade, in my opinion, personally. Think of it in the vein of, like, Contra being much better than the Contra arcade, that kind of thing. It's a wonderful game. There's 4 characters to choose from, and we're going to choose by far the most overpowered character in this game, which is the ninja. Let's go ahead and do that now. And I'm going to start time on after name input, because it's just better that way. And here we go. Alright, here we go with some Cadash. Cadasheriness. The king's like, yeah, we need help. And you're like, yeah, cool, I'll do that. I'm a ninja. The ninja is, again, by far the most overpowered character in this game. Always gets a projectile, which is nice to start with. As you'll see in this game, as we level up, we'll get faster as well. And of course, the ninja is by far the fastest character in this regard, which is also useful. Also, and his best weapon in the game. Oops, almost hit that. Is it might be glitched. I don't know if they intended it, but it really, really wrecks bosses with how many times it can hit, because it actually goes through enemies and continues to hit them. Alright, so first thing we have to do is level up. There are levels in this game. You can't tell how much experience you have or when the next level is going to come or anything like that. It just happens. You can gauge it out with enough grinding in this game. But we start off slaying these pigs. It starts with 2, but then you only need 1 to damage it. We need to get to level 3 before the first boss, because 1, it improves our speed a lot, 2, it improves our strength a lot, and 3, it's a nice easy grind in the beginning. We'll be gaining levels throughout. There's one major grind spot later on that is pretty much it. There's not too much grinding to do at all in this game, which is really nice. As you can see, we're already starting to get a lot faster. By the end of this, you're going to see the ninja basically be a blur on the screen because he ends up going so fast. Oop, that is not what I wanted there. Okay. That extra skull there, though. Alright. A lot of this game does evolve around damage boosting. You'll definitely see that after this first boss fight. In the actual any percent route, as in the not marathon safe one, there are lots of damage boosts that you do in this game to actually get you in places that you shouldn't be. Many of them, and by many I mean every one of them, is extremely tight and difficult, so we're not going to be seeing any of them, unfortunately, in this route. But I'll explain as I get there. Alright, we're going to wait a second for him to bounce back, because we want to get all the little treasure, just for a little marathon safety. We need that extra cheddar, if you will. Talk to him, he's like, blah, 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 your quest is just beginning, blah-de-da-de-da. And you're like, okay. This is the TurboGrafx 16. Another bit of a safe strat here is we're going to go to the inn first, because we want our health back. Alright, and now we're going to go to the item shop here. We skipped the first weapon/armor shop, because we just don't need it. Because we're about to go to another one. We're about to skip a major part of the game. It's very easy. Very easy to do. You're supposed to actually get a pendant from one of the ladies in town and then go fight a Kraken boss and save a mermaid, but we're just going to skip all that. We don't need to do all that. First, though, we need to fill up on antidotes. How these work is, or herbs, I should say. Oops. Let me get a couple more antidotes. How this works is you can't actually use items at all in this game. They automatically use when they're triggered. For the herbs, it's triggered when you go to 0 health. It'll put you back to 10 health, and you can have up to 8 of them, which we, of course, maxed out on. And antidotes, of course, protect you from poison. They will trigger as soon as you're poisoned. Alright, so water hurts you, as you can see. This is supposed to prevent you from taking this path early on. But as you can see, it doesn't really do too much damage. And when we actually take damage boosts from these eyes, we get majorly boosted to the right. And there we go. And we skipped the entire section of the game where we have to fight that boss and everything just by damage boosting through the water there. Alright, now we're going to get our first upgrade. It's a weapon. I am not using a new microphone. Is it a little low or anything? But yeah, we just damage boosted that entire section, and it was nice and easy. Alright, so we get our first weapon upgrade here. It will help with the grind. We actually only get a couple of weapon upgrades in the whole run. The ninja doesn't really need them. Ninja's not too heavy on the equipment. As soon as you get the best weapon, it's pretty much easy street. Alright, so this is where we're going to start leveling a little bit. These giant egg, potato, rock creatures are going to be our grind segment. Go! Cut up. There we go. So I used my first herb there. So I have 7 more. I gotta keep that in mind. Alright, so this is where we're gonna grind upwards to 9. Hello. It's nice to see you too. Okay, we're gonna do it like this. So there's a few reasons that we want to level up here. One, we need the cash. You do need to buy the weapons, thus you need the cash. We also get some defensive upgrades, or else you would just get absolutely slaughtered by endgame, no matter how much hit points you had or how many levels you got. You do need the upgrades. They are help. 2, it raises your strength. You do need the strength upgrades as well, especially early on. As we get in the grind here, you'll notice that we are slowly taking less hits to kill them each time. 3, your character becomes faster. As you can already tell, again, like the ninja's walking a lot faster. So it's very beneficial. The faster you walk is always a good thing. This is actually the first part in the speedrun that I'm deviating from the actual true any % route. We can use a spider web that can wrap around our legs. We use an enemy, basically, that spits a web on us that we can continually damage boost off of. We can actually damage boost up above the cliff area that we need the next boss's item for to get over. But, again, it's way too inconsistent for a marathon run. And it's a much different grinding process, which is also more difficult. So we're going to stick with the old classic route here. And remember, we only have 7 herbs left. That is something to keep in mind. But compared to the other characters, the warrior's very armor dependent. And that takes a lot of money, so you're going to need to do extra grinding there. The wizard doesn't really get good until, like, level 13 when he gets his last spell, and then he becomes overpowered as hell. I believe the final wizard spell that you get in this game is the same as the final boss's spell, which is amusing. Alright, so we had level 9. All characters do get speed ups as they level, but Okay, hey, I'm back, everyone. Alright, I'm gonna unpause and unpause my timer at the same time. We just beat the boss here. I don't know how long I was frozen for. I apologize. We just beat the silkworm boss here and got the ability to get to the next area. We're gonna continue now. There's 4 of our herbs. Alright, we only use 4, so we should be more than capable of not needing to go get the backup herbs, which is nice. There we go. Coming back this way. Nope, we are done with grinding for now. We will take a bonus level near endgame because it'll just make it easier. In the 90% route, you actually, you beat the game at level 9, and that is incredibly dangerous. But yeah, this is the monster thread that we needed to get up here. And I was saying earlier, you can damage boost up there, but it's way too difficult for a marathon run. Way too inconsistent. So we're just going to take the backup. Oop. So we have 3 more medical herbs left. That was an unfortunate loss of one, but not a big deal as well. We have an optional boss here. This is an optional boss. But we do want to kill it. The reason being, it drops an elixir. And much like the medical herb, it is triggered when you essentially die or go to 0 hit points. But the difference between the elixir and the medical herb is the elixir actually fills your health completely, as opposed to only giving you 10 health back. So it's definitely something you want to pick up. Take a hit there, which will heal ourselves, the antidote. I'll probably pick a couple extra antidotes up in the future here. Alright, here's another place that you can get a nice damage boost off of if you do it correctly. But we're just going to kill the harpy. Ow. As you can see, hell of a damage boost. And now she's dead. Alright. But we used our elixir. We're at full health, which is nice. Wait a second for the green thing to vomit all over the place just so we can continue without getting disrupted and knocked back all the time. Alright. So we went around this way because we had to grab this flower. And what happens when we drink this flower is we shrink. You notice all these are all like a dwarven town. So we need to be smaller in order to fit into the houses. So we're going to grab a quick set of armor here for our ninja. It's going to change our color of our ninja outfit here to more of a teal. And we don't need to visit the inn. Obviously, we use the elixir, so we're good there. So we're going to go to the item shop. We're going to fill up on medical herbs. We're going to grab a couple more antidotes. We were down 6 herbs. Now we are full again. And we have to buy the key here. We have to buy the key in order to get past this gate coming up. We just run into it. It unlocks. And we're into the next area. Slamming. Yep, the armor and the weapons do change color, and they visually show every single one for each character as well. Oh my god, I thought the game froze there for a second. This game does have soft lock potential in it, especially in this area. So here's hoping that doesn't actually happen. Again, this is another place that this was like the most recent discovery for damage boost in this game was this area. You can damage boost into the town, which would save an enormous amount of time, but it is by far the most inconsistent. As you can see, the ledge is on our left here. What you would need to do is actually lure one of those floating ghost enemies over there and either damage boost off its shot or off of it up onto the ledge. It's extremely hard to pull off. Hello, damage boost me, thank you. Alright, so we're just getting past all these dragons. We don't have to waste our time actually fighting these. This is Cadash for the TurboGrafx-16. All information for the game is below. Below the game screen. Cadash any percent for TurboGrafx-16. Fantastic game. I Absolutely love this game. And all 4 characters are super fun to play as through this game, too. Like, you don't have to just play as the ninja. It's just by far the fastest and easiest way through, I think. Also, a bonus for running TurboGrafx games, you're allowed to use Turbo. So if you're not a masher, you're allowed to use Turbo because the default controller on the TurboGrafx has Turbo included. Makes perfect sense. Alright. So we're gonna make our way across this giant river of lava, or fire, or whatever. Going into the next stage, or next town here. This is the town you would damage boost into. We're gonna go ahead and have an inn visit here. This one's the most expensive inn. Not a fun one to visit. 500, but for backup strats and safety, we're definitely hitting up the inn. This is where we also get our ultimate weapon and our final armor upgrade. There we go. As you can see now, he has a little part of his armor over his face, and we have a single throwing weapon again. This weapon is so unbelievably broken in this game. It's wonderful. But you must talk to this lady, and she's like, my husband Abel died. Please revenge him and stuff. Also put this charm on the grave. We passed that grave coming into the stage, so we have to go back up there. This weapon just continually goes through all enemies that it hits, like that. And it is so wonderfully abusive on every boss in this game. And remaining, that is. So we're going to go out to the grave now. Have to make our way back here. Lightning strikes do a lot of damage, don't really want to mess with them. If I don't have to. That was a good damage boost from the lightning strike, though. As you can see, damage boost actually saves you quite a bit of time when you do it right. We place the charm on the grave. You hear Abel's voice suddenly. Thank you for the gratitude. Here's my most prized possession. I took the pendant. Now I can talk to animals like Dr. What's-His-Name. Yeah, they make a few really odd references in this game. Also, they will mention Carl Sagan by name later. It's just really odd. But it's a super fun game. Alright, so now we're gonna go fight the boss of this area. At level 9, we don't really need to be level 9. I'd prefer to be 10 at this point. There we go. I knew we were close. Having that extra level at this boss is helpful. It's quite helpful. You get the opportunity to actually 3-cycle it, if possible. So what the pendant did is let us talk to the dog that you saw running across here. He's like, oh yeah, the bandit went into that wall that you clearly could not go into, even though it's, you know, the same thing. But after talking to the dog, we're not going to 3-cycle. I got knocked back by one of the flames. The flame RNG is huge in this fight. Alright, that was a good round. As you can see here, I'm constantly hitting the boss when these actually hit. It's so powerful. We got pretty close to 3-cycling it, but that early flame kind of knocked us out of it. Ah. There we go. We still got the 4-cycle. To compare it, the warrior takes like 8 to 10 cycles to kill this thing with a sword. And that would probably... Maybe the wizard would actually be the fastest one, but again, you have to do a lot of extra leveling with the wizard. So as you can see, the ninja is just so powerful in this game. Alright, so we gotta make our way back here. We got the whistle. As you can see, it made a bridge when we used it back there. Alright, chain these enemies. And this is where we're step into the next area. We're gonna make another bridge here. Remember, this is where we came into this area, but we have to go right. Oh, that lovely flute. Alright, so we're going to the final area of the game. This hidden castle type area. Alright, see if we can do this correctly. If you jump, you can get these enemies as they fall down, which is really nice. Alright. Cool. Alright, on the skeleton is actually where we're gonna get to level 11, and that's the level we're gonna finish the game at. The skeleton's worth some pretty good experience, and with the ninja you can obviously grind it really quickly. I don't even think there is any weapons or items in the final shop for the ninja, so we're pretty much, besides skipping the first shop, honestly, we're good. There we go. Now we're level 11. See, that didn't take long at all. Look how fast we are. It's insane how fast you get. Alright, so we're gonna make our, it's kind of mazy, kind of not. Just gonna take a boost off these dragons here. Which is useful. Again, damage boosts are big time savers in this game in specific areas. We just have to jump over the spiky ball part of these enemies. The graphics are definitely really good in this game, but that goes without saying because the TurboGrafx is just full of games with like amazing graphics. So that was a boss free fight. Remember the blob at the beginning of the game? Well, he's a little easier this time around. Alright, so now... Hey, it's the princess that we were told to save. We have rescued the princess, but then she's like, no, you haven't rescued me yet. You have to still go kill the final boss and whatnot. But first, gotta go over here in the secret area. That's a life bell. What that does is raises your maximum amount of hit points, which is nice. And also on the top right there was an elixir, so we have another elixir, which is also nice. Nope, that's not the right one. Silly me. There we go. Oh, by the way, the more you leveled up as well as the faster you shoot, which is also a really nice thing. As you can see, it gets pretty crazy how fast you end up shooting in this game. So we kill that dragon for a little bit of safety. It's not a big deal. But the whole reason we went this way is this is the final shop, but we need this gold key right here to actually access the final area. So we grab the golden key, just make an exit because we don't need to actually use the shop. And then we head to the exit as fast as we can. Because we have to go all the way back now, back to the start of this area. Because there was a golden cell door, just like that silver one right there, that we have to get through. Alright, so we're going to take these stairs, making our way downtown. Thank you for the host, Slurp. Slurp coming up, playing some Where's Waldo soon. But right after this, we have more TurboGrafx with Bonk's Revenge as well, which is going to be awesome. And I must say a big thank you all for being here as well. You've all been wonderful, supporting the marathon and hanging out and all that good stuff. We're almost back to the beginning now. We're going to do one safe strat here, in that we're going to go grab the other elixir in this area. There are two. You can't actually stack elixirs, or else you'll just lose one. You can only ever hold one. But, let's go grab one, shall we? It's right here. It's about 20 seconds out of your way. It's really not that far. Take a couple damage boosts. And through that door right there is just an herb. You know, we're already pretty full on herbs to the point where we definitely don't need them. All right, these giant weird eyeballs rolling here. We're just gonna take the damage in the right way, since we can't kill them anyways. Whee! All right, so we have this giant worm refight again. Ah. Alright, there's some good RNG. Hit me again, which is fine. I wanted to get on this side near the door that we have to leave on. Yeah. I did a good amount of damage there. Not the best RNG. It can roll 1 to like 4 different times. Ah. We keep hitting it right before we get the chance to continually hit it. So not the greatest worm refight here, unfortunately, but that's okay. Alright, so we killed it. Alright, so now we're making our way to final boss fight. Or at least one of them. I hope you're prepared for... Oh, we were just a little early there. This is where we could actually get a glitch. You see, if we hit it after he shoots... You hear that sound like a chain gun almost going off? That's massive, massive damage. But you have to hit him after he shoots his lightning. Ah, I think I did it a little early there. We might be good now. There we go. Yep. Can't believe you beat me. Yeah, that's why this weapon is so insanely powerful. You can just absolutely shred the final boss in this game. Speaking of final bosses, hey, we're talking to the king. Yada 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 shmata yada yada. But she's like, oh my god, you're a fake king. And he's like, oh, you're so smart. And then you're going to mention Carl Sagan, and things are going to get weird. Rule the world, blah-de-da-de-da. You're a liar and an evil person. So we're going to go to the left here, and then hold the 2 button, and just be happy. You see, the dragon boss doesn't actually use the fire attack if it's getting hit. Which you actually got to see it a couple times here, which is rare. But we're pretty safe. And it's dead. We're almost at time here. Just gotta wait to talk to the princess a little bit here, and time. And that is Cadash for the TurboGrafx-16. Such a great game. Much love for this game. It's so much fun. I highly suggest trying it out. All 4 characters have their own unique twist. The ninja just happens to be the most ridiculously powerful one compared to any of the other characters, but they're all fun to use. There's a couple of magic users and a couple of just melee characters. But that's Cadash. Thank you again for joining me, everyone. I'll be back later in the marathon, of course. Up next, we got Bonk's Revenge. Bonk's being like the main title for the TurboGrafx. Brought to you by Lat Mackey. So